Hello and welcome to Paper Plays Julie K.
Welcome everyone, and thank you so much for stopping by to check out my latest video. And today I thought I would pop on and do another craft with me session. Lorna Taylor of Taylormade Journals gifted me a couple of her kits, which was really awesome. And I've been having fun playing with them. And the other day I printed off the Snow Angels kit and worked with it a little bit with you guys and made some ephemera on a craft with me session. And then I also printed off the Skate Among the Stars, and I thought I could do another little craft with me session making some ephemera using some of these. But I did want to show you, if you watched that video, I had created this page hugger with a gorgeous little girl on the cover. Again, this was part of Lorna Taylor's Snow Angels kit, and again, she's Taylormade Journals on Etsy, which of course I will link her information below in the description box. But I didn't finish the backside and decided I better do something with that, and I talked about that adding that cute little boy, so I just thought I would show you guys what I ended up doing. I added, you know, the eyelash trim, some different layers, there's some tulle, the eyelash trim, the image which I sewed around and inked the edges, but then I also added, and I don't know if it'll show up, but I added some liquid pearls, and it was kind of like a silvery pearl color. I don't have it sitting on my desk, just to try that out. It adds a little bit of dimension to it. I have the white opal sitting on my desk now, just so you can at least see the container, but it was a different color that I had used on that one. But I do like how that turned out as the snow, so I might do that technique again. It just adds a little bit of dimension. And then I added a little bit of a confetti piece that had a snowflake on it and the trim at the bottom. So that's what I did just to finish that one up, and I just thought I would show you guys that before I got going on this other kit. And this was the other kit that I printed off of Lorna's that she gifted me, Skate Among the Stars. It's a beautiful little kit. There's, I don't know, 20, 30, 40 pages in it. I'm not quite sure, but she has quite a few pages in the kits that she's put out recently, you know, between 20 and 40 pages. So I just printed off the ones that I thought would be fun to work with. A lot of the images she does have in different sizes. And when I printed mine off, again, I chose like the 8x10, so they're smaller than what they normally would be if you printed them off. I just wasn't sure what type of journal I was going to be making with these. I know I want to make some sort of winter wonderland themed journal, so I printed them off just a little smaller, and somehow I ended up with like glitter on all these pages, which is fine. I mean, it works, but I can see it. You guys probably can't, but I just wanted to show you some of the images that were in the kit. They're gorgeous and they printed beautifully. I know I'll get a couple of questions about what type of paper and everything that I used. And I do have an EcoTank Epson printer. It's I think it's like the 85501. And the type of paper that I used, it was Canon matte photo paper. And then I printed like the choice on there that it was like luster photo paper. That's usually what I choose if I'm using on my version. That's what I usually choose if I'm not using glossy paper. That one seems to work well for matte photo paper. But like I said, I just wanted to show you guys how adorable some of these images are. They're just beautiful. I think a lot of these are gorgeous images, and they definitely could just stand alone, that you don't even have to really do too much to them, and they're going to look beautiful in your journals. Or if you're into card making, some of these I thought would be fun to put on cards too. But I just wanted to show you some of the ones, and you can kind of see where I cut out some images already on some of these. So those are the ones, of course, that we're going to play with today. And I have some stuff already kind of prepped and ready to go, just because I wanted to do some sewing and I didn't want to stop recording and then go sew and come back. So I did some of that kind of beforehand. And again, I'm just going to be making some ephemera. And so I just thought I'd start with this one, a glassine bag. It's kind of one of the things I like to add to a lot of my journals. So when I decorate my glassine bags, I do like to put like a little craft sheet inside of them, just in case the glue seeps through. I haven't had that happen very often, but once in a while I've had that happen. So it just adds protection to make sure I'm not gluing my bag shut. because if I were to glue it to something, it would end up being glued to this, and then I can easily like stick a something in there to open it up again when it's glued to, if it ended up being glued to the craft mat sheet. I don't think I have problems with this type of glassine bag though. I think these were ones I picked up a long time ago at Hobby Lobby. But I did start off with, again, I'm just working again, besides Lorna's digital images, just some random scrapbooking paper. This one was a Stamperia paper. I just shades of blue that were in, or white that were in my scrap pile that I'm just trying to use up. So I was thinking I could glue this down as kind of my base layer, and so I'm going to go ahead and do that right away. Hopefully you guys are doing well. I do live in the Midwest, and it's starting to feel a little bit like fall here. It was kind of one of those days where it's kind of drizzly and very dark and gloomy. I kind of have a suspicion that that it's going to rain today. I'm actually kind of hoping it does, because my husband, I've been helping him do wood chores. We do heat part of our house with a wood stove. We do have a pile of wood that needs to be split, and he splits it, but usually I like set it up for him and then I stack it. Or sometimes lately we've been putting it in the wheelbarrow and then we carry it down to our house that way and stack it inside the house. So we've been kind of stocking up on, well, the weather is still not too bad, stocking up on stuff, but I really don't feel like, I'm not really in the mood to do chores today, but we'll see. So now my next thought with this one is I was gifted a bunch of like material, and it came from like a sample book, a swatch book, and it was for like curtains. And from my mom's friend Joanne, she gave me a whole sample book of stuff. And so I did cut some of them out. And this one was called, the pattern was called Rumble, and the color is Snow. So I thought that was kind of perfect. So I decided to start adding some of those to my journals. And you can see I kind of tore it out of the sample book. I'm just going to use half of it today. There were some nice little pieces in there that I thought would work well for a kind of a winter wonderlandish type journal, and I thought this one was kind of looked like snow a little bit, so I picked this one out. I've just been trying to grab random stuff for my craft room to play with lately on different projects, just trying to craft my own stash, I guess. So I'm thinking that's going to make kind of a nice little background piece. I'm going to probably layer it off to the side here. I'm just going to put my glue a little closer to me. I'm just going to put a little bit of glue down the middle. I think that's really cute so far. Let's see, what else do I have? So I have her image here, and I did sew around all of them, and then I also glued on eyelash trim on the back side. I just like the look of that. It adds kind of a nice little layer without adding too much bulk to everything. So I think that's what I want to do. And then I also went through my scrap pile of laces and trims. So I have this one picked out to do something with her on it. And then I also had this little fiber type trim too that I thought would be fun to put on the bottom of this one. So I think I'm going to go like, I'm trying to decide, I might just add this one at an angle too. I don't know, I'm just kind of feeling that today. So let's glue this one down. So I'm liking that. And I do have my hot glue gun going here, so I think I'm going to use that for this trim on the bottom. Yeah, I always enjoy going through my stash of scraps and trying to see what I can use up when I work on little ephemera projects. It's kind of one of my favorite things to do, is just to dig through my pile of stuff and see what I have. I just thought before I started recording I'd just pull some stuff out. So I do have a little bit left of this one that, you know, maybe I can add it to something else today, because I really like this trim. I don't have some that I picked up at Hobby Lobby a long time ago, and I don't have a lot of it left. But I think that looks really nice on there. I don't know here. let's see. I don't have a lot of this one, so I could just trying to decide if I want to go around. You know, I could do two sides of this. I don't think, or just one. I think I'll just do the one side. So that's really cute. Depending upon what type of journal I end up doing, I might come back in later and add some flat back pearls into the middle of the little flowers there. But for now I'm just going to leave it because I don't want to make it too bulky, but I might come back and do that. It's kind of cute. I kind of wish I would have put one more layer of something behind her. It's still drying a little bit, but I don't want to take it apart. So I also went through, before I started filming today, I have like a lot of random Christmas stuff. Some stuff I've gotten in Happy Mail, and I gotta try and find what I did with. And one of the things I found was this sticker sheet. And it has gold and silver stars. So I thought that would be perfect for this kit. Again, it's called Skate Among the Stars. So I thought I could, you know, use up a few of those stickers and add it to things. And then I also found like a pair, and I don't know where the other one went. I just held on to this one. The other one's sitting on my desk. Someone had gifted me some, and they were put on like acetate, but the backs are no longer sticky. But I thought it'd be kind of fun to add that little embellishment too. It was a sticker, a 3D sticker. So I think I'm going to add that down here first. And then I think I want to put a star up in the little wand that she's holding on to. Yeah, that works right there. And then I think silver star. So I was going to put that one up here. And again, I think I'll just use the hot glue gun for that. So I think I'm going to call that done for this one. I don't really have a tag or a journal card to put into it yet, but I just wanted to make a bag for my journal. So I think that looks really cute. I'll just show you guys again up front. The only other thing, maybe, I still have some of my Winka Stella sitting here. And this artsy one. Let me see what color this one is. I think this one's clear. Just trying to see, one of these doesn't have any juice left to it here. Let's see if this one does. The other day it came out really fast, so I don't, yeah, this is the one that has like a hole on the side of it, but I'm just going to put a little bit of the sparkle over here, and then I can just dip the little paintbrush thing in it. But it's called Winka Stella if you guys have never had these before. But they're kind of glittery, kind of like stickles, but they're not as dimensional. So they do add a little bit of sparkle to projects. And I think I just, you know, want to go and just highlight some of the snow and glitter on her desk or on her dress. Just to make it kind of stand out a little bit more. So yeah, I think I like that. So I'll just kind of hold it up. I know, hopefully you guys can kind of see. Once it dries, it'll be really pretty. So I'll set that one aside. So one thing done. And then the next thing, what do I want to do? I think I'm going to choose something else that I wanted to use the Winka Stella while it's still, before it dries here. I had another little tag that I wanted to make, and again, I kind of have it set up a little bit. So I do like to use like clothing tags. I save all my clothing tags and my husband's clothing tags and then I just recreate tags by adding layers. So again, this is one of Lorna Taylor's digitals right there. And then I have some scrapbooking paper. So I glued that down on one side. I did ink the edges. And I'm using this Distress ink for inking edges. It's called Stormy Sky. And then I went ahead and sewed around this one. I even have my husband trained to save clothing tags for me. He has a little spot that he just sets them on his dresser if he like decides to wear something new that's in his closet. He just sets them there for me to use for crafting. So I don't have them trained yet to open up the mail the way I would like them to save the envelopes, but I do have them trained to save me the tags, which is nice. And I like using the clothing tags because they're always so sturdy, so you don't have to worry about how many layers of paper you have. They're nice and sturdy and easy to write on when you journal, so that's why I like to use them. So this one I still need to punch the hole on the other side. Okay. That's not very big. Not a very big hole. I'm just going to look real quick. I have this grab bag of little ribbons that was gifted to me by my mom's friend, or my mom's neighbor and friend Joanne. And so there's all sorts of and I was kind of looking at it and it looks like I had some blue and some white ones in here, so I might be able to use those on tags. But I saw this and I thought this was kind of pretty that was in there. It's kind of sparkly, so I thought that would work for some of my tags. Let's see if I can thread it through or not. Ooh, I might need something pokey. So you guys all have to let me know how you're all doing. Like I said, it's dreary day kind of here. Besides that, you know, we've been, getting caught up on our wood pile, just to get ready for the winter. We've been trying to do as many chores as we can outside. Just cutting back some of the, flowers and some stuff like that. And then we've also been kind of marking some trees in our yard that we need to take down. We do live in the woods, and we have a couple trees close to our garage that are going to need to be cut down probably this winter. So my husband will do that, or sometimes my dad comes and helps with that too. He's cut down a lot of trees in his life, so sometimes he's good to have around to help make sure the logistics of making sure they fall where you want them to fall. So this one I was going to layer on. I have some more of this little like Swiss dot sheer material, and I thought that would be kind of a nice little layering piece on the background on this one. So yeah, we've been marking trees, and then my husband cut down some other trees that were dying in our woods, so we'll have to start hauling those closer to the cabin so that he can split them, and then I can stack them, I guess. So that's kind of our outdoor stuff, I guess, that's been going on. I am looking forward to next weekend. My mom's coming to spend the weekend with me. So my husband's going to be gone, hanging out with his cousin. So I thought it'd be a good time for her to come visit. And so here's the image. I just wanted to show you guys again of Lorna Taylor's image. And again, I sewed around it and added eyelash trim. So yeah, my mom's coming. She knits and she crochets. So hopefully I'll get a little crafting done. She can come out and hang out with me up in my craft room while I work on stuff. And she can knit and crochet. I do have a TV up here and also like a DVD player, so she can watch something fun if she wants to, if we're not, she's not in the chatty mood. So I told her if she had any movies or anything like that she wanted to bring with, she could do that. So that's kind of cute. And for this one, I did print off the word wonder. and I punched it out because I was thinking that that would be fun to add somewhere on here. Maybe should have put it a little higher up. And then the other thing that my mom and I are going to do is, if there's other people here that have Scandinavian backgrounds, you probably have heard of lefse. But we always do with that. We make it this time of year for the holidays, and then we just freeze it. And so it's kind of like a, I don't know what you would call it. It's like a bread maybe, but it's like flat, like a pancake, and you roll it up, and we put cinnamon and sugar on it, or sugar and butter. I like cinnamon with it, cinnamon and sugar on mine. I think my mom just likes sugar and butter. And so we do that. You have to make the batter, and we use potatoes, and you add flour and different stuff, and then you roll it out, and you know, let it cool, and then we freeze it or whatever. So we make that, and then there's another similar one that we call hardanger cakes, but I don't know, because that was the area, I think, in Norway that the family was from, but I don't know that that's necessarily what it's called. And we use a special iron, a rolling pin iron for it, and it's the one that we have is made with cast iron. And I wanted to add a little bit of trim on this one. Just trying to decide though if I want it on the bottom or not. So we also make that one. That one's more of like a bread dough consistency. That one does. It has yeast in it, so it does rise a little bit, but it still gets rolled out like the lefse. We have like a big grill that's really hot that we flip, you know, we put it on, the batter on there, and then flip it when it's ready, you know, after my mom rolls it out, and then she sets it on there, and then we flip it. She usually does the rolling, and I do the flipping on the grill. So I think and then I also had this too that I wanted to add some stars. And these ones are called star crystals. They're old. I got these again, I think from my mom's neighbor, Joanne. She gifted me a bunch of stuff from someone else that was getting rid of craft supplies. And that was in the pile. So I think I like that there. I just need to decide if there really is room. Yeah, maybe I'll put the word wonder right like that, I think. And then the trim at the bottom. I think that'll work. So let me glue this down first. So yeah, we'll be making the lefse and the hardanger cakes, which usually that's, you know, a good day for us to make both of that and then clean up the mess that we produce making it. But it's always kind of fun. Some years my sister joins us. It's been a while though, because her kids are always so busy. And then some years we've actually done it. I have a cousin that we've done it with before. And then also, but her kids too are getting busy now, so she can't always join us. And then we've also done it with a couple of aunts too in the past, but most of the time it's just me and my mom, so it's just kind of fun for us to hang out. That is so cute. I like these images. They're really pretty, Lorna, if you're watching. Like I said, I think they could easily stand on their own, but I like to decorate, so I have to add my little spin on things. But I think these ones would just be just as easy just to sew around them and make them into, you know, just add them onto a journal page. So that's cute. So there's that journal tag. And I'm just going to leave the back because I think that'll be perfect for journaling on. It's light enough to journal on, other than I am going to take this Wink of Stella brush again and do some of the snow. Like I said, it might not show very well on camera, and I'm going to add, she has some little stars in her hat. I'm going to add some there too. But I just add just a little bit of glitter or sparkle to your projects without going overboard. It actually kind of makes it look like there's snow falling. So yeah, I think that works. So I'll hold that up close for you guys to look at. So second one done. So here's kind of a fun one I wanted to do with you guys. Just kind of another idea for those of you that do idea books for journals. So I am starting off with some scrapbooking paper that I sewed around and inked the edges. It's 2 different sheets that I sewed together. The back side just has some writing on it because I wanted this to be a journal tag. And then there's just, I'm not sure, this is probably Stamperia paper. I'm not 100% sure. Again, I just grabbed stuff. And then I took one of Lorna Taylor's images, this cute little girl. She's skating on the ice, and then there's the stars up top. And what I ended up doing was adding some glitter or sequins over it that are star-shaped. And again, these are a little bit older vintage ones or semi-vintage that Joanne gifted me from someone that was getting rid of their craft supplies. But I put that on top of there, and then I put tulle. I use this type of tulle right here that I picked up at the thrift store. It has some glitter. And so I laid that on top, and then I sewed around it. And so that makes a fun little shaker. Isn't that fun? And then, of course, you could see I sewed around the edges and added the eyelash trim on this one. So I'm going to just glue that down on here. That's going to make a fun little shaker right away. And journal card. But on the back side, I did want to print or stamp something. I have this stamp that I got that I purchased from Lorna Taylor a while ago. I don't know if it was last year or the year before, but it has skates on it. So I thought this would be fun to add to the journal card. I'm just using that Tim Holtz Distress ink on this one. Just going to stamp it at the bottom. So that's cute. So I'll have that on the back. I also had this die cut too, but I thought about adding that on the back of here, but I don't know that, I kind of forgot that it was that big. So I might save that for somewhere else in the journal when I work on the journal. So I'm just going to go ahead and glue this one down then. But yeah, I always think these little shaker elements are kind of fun. If you don't have like the tool that I used, if you wanted to make one, you could just use like some sort of clear packaging or acetate and put that over the confetti or whatever you want to use for the shaker part. The only thing is if you're going to use like the tool, you just have to use confetti. Like sometimes you can actually add little like beads or a little like pieces of glitter too. I've done that before in my shakers, but then you want to use the clear packaging because that would fall through the tool, but these don't. So, and I just think that is so cute. I could put, yeah, no, I just like that image. I just think that's fun of the little girl. And this one, I thought the only thing I'm really going to do on this one is I'm just going to add a little bit down here of trim on this one. I wanted to leave this one kind of as is, but I guess I better make sure that all my stars are not on the bottom. I have a couple that don't want to move. Well, there's just one, so that's fine. So you guys will have to let me know if you've ever made shakers for your journals before. Like I said, they're kind of fun. It's been a while since I've added a shaking element to my journals, but I was thinking about it the other day. I made I had a birthday party to go to for a little boy, and so I usually make little shaker cards for little kids because they find them so fun. And he was into construction stuff, so I had like a little, it's an old Stampin' Up set with construction cars and trucks on it, and so I had made a little shaker for him, and I thought, oh, whatever journal I make next, I need to add a shaker element to it because it'd been a while. So this was the next kind of journal thing I had been working on. So there's how that one turned out. So a third item done. So that's super cute. I love that one. So precious. And let's see, I have 3 more things sitting on my desk that I wanted to accomplish that I had printed off and kind of prepped. So here was the next one. This one has a little bit more steps to it, so we'll do this one. And hopefully I haven't lost any of the pieces on my desk here. We'll zoom out a little bit more. My desk is very messy. I don't know if what your guys' desk looks like. After I'm done with this, I think I need to clean it off and start over again. I just was working on a couple projects and I just need to start over again. So I did take apart an envelope. I have a ruler here. So the envelope would have been about 6.5 by about 3.5, if you guys need to know the size, I guess. But I did carefully take it apart, and part of it I'm not going to use. But what I was thinking, I had this in my head. I'm sure it's been done by someone else, but what I thought would be fun to do is to, you know, attach something here with little, like, eyelets or brads, and then have the string, and then have the journal card behind there, is what I was thinking of. But then I also thought, and I'm not going to do it this time, but I was like, for future journals, I was thinking, well, you could like actually fold this one in and glue it down a little bit, and then you'd actually have a little pocket in there too, which I thought was a great idea, but I'm not going to do that for this one. So I am going to cut this part off. I'm not going to use this part of it. I could save it and layer some paper on it and just use it as a pocket in the future on a journal if I want to save, because that would make kind of a nice little pocket on the bottom of a page. So I might actually save that. But I was thinking on this one, I am going to cut this one down in a bit, but I was thinking for my journal page, so like if this is just a scrap piece of paper, but if this was in my journal and I had this attached, I could make it into a flip, you know, plus have that little element that I wanted here. So I think I'm going to do it this way. I think that makes more sense. But I am going to cut this down, but I'm going to wait a little bit until I'm finished to cut that down. So I did cut out some pieces ready to go. I have the pieces for the journal card. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is on the back side, I just took a piece of scrapbooking paper and sewed around it and inked the edges. I'm just going to give this a nice back side to it. This is light enough that you could journal on, so I'm going to leave this side plain, but if you wanted to, you could also put like a nice piece of trim, or like I had this left over, I could have sewed this on and made a pocket, so you could have made that a pocket on the back side. Or if you wanted, you could have made it a belly band too. You could have added something on there to make a belly band. But I just wanted a journaling spot on here, so. And I just made this card slightly smaller than the envelope base there. Okay. So I'm going to leave that there for the moment. And then the inside of here, and I'm not sure what scrapbooking paper company that was. I've had that one in my stash for a long time. I have a bunch of scraps. So at some point I must have made cards with it. So I just kind of went through my paper scraps, Christmas paper scraps, and pulled out anything that was blue that I could use in this journal. And then here's another one. I think this one might have been Kaiser Craft maybe, was where this one came from. This paper pad. This one was a Christmas paper pad, but this part, it did say, and I cut it off on the side. There was a spot that said like Merry Christmas. But again, I wanted to make a Winter Wonderland journal, so I took that part off. But I thought this would be a nice little background. And then I was thinking, okay, so here I have some other type of paper here. Again, this came from a Christmas or a winter kit. I think this was like some kit I bought a long time ago at Hobby Lobby. I just don't remember the brand of it. But I did sew around the edges and cut it out. I just traced it out like if you're tracing on your scrapbooking paper. I just took these envelope flap and I traced it. This one wasn't pointed, but this side was, so I traced it on this side. And I made 2 of them. So I'm going to glue this top flap down. And with this one, since it's going to flip up, I need to make sure that my paper doesn't go over the fold so that it easily flips up like that. And at the very end, if I have to, I'll go around it again and ink the edges if I need to. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the bottom of this one. Yeah, I've had this idea for a little while. Sometimes when I'm bored and I just take out envelopes and pieces of paper and I just fold them and just see what happens. And this was one of the ones that I'm like, oh, this would be kind of cute if you could do something, you know, and tie it together somehow. Like I said, I'm sure it's been done. I just thought this was cute. You could also just make your own envelopes instead of having to take one apart. But I have so many envelopes that, and these are really thin envelopes, so it's good that I'm layering on some paper on them because that'll make it a little more sturdy. So there's kind of the base. I don't want to do the inside pieces quite yet. Because I'm going to use brads on this one, and so I want to cover them on the back side. So I did find in my stash, I have some brads that have stars on them. I had them in silver and gold, so I took out the silver ones. And then I used some more of this scrapbooking paper and I just cut out circles. I'm going to use those and I'm going to punch the brads through there. I just got to look where my little punchy thing is. I'm just going to guesstimate where the middle is on this one. Same with that one. Trying to decide if I got to think here. And then I also grabbed out I have some twine and it's getting to the end of it, so I chose this one just so I could see if I could use up some of this. So I'm trying to decide, so if I do, because I know I need to poke a hole in there too, and then this. Yeah, I think that's what I have to do. I'm just going to, let's see. Just make sure I have the hole where I want it. So I'm just going to stick, I wanted this one on top. I'm going to stick the twine through the hole. And then I'm just going to kind of give myself a generous amount here. Probably more than what I need, but I'll just use the scraps on a tag or something. And then I think my hole's still big enough to stick the brad through here. Otherwise I might need to punch it a little bit bigger. And I'm also going to stick the string and this brad through this top part of my flap here. Make sure I kind of like how everything's positioned. It isn't quite perfect. I didn't punch the hole exactly in the middle, but I can maybe kind of maneuver this to get it where I want it. So I think that'll work close enough. I'm going to push that down like that. You know, and then this I'll just glue on the back side of that. So and then this one I don't need to do the string or anything on this bottom one, so this one will be easier. Yeah, I wish I would have looked at how the stars looked on before I punched holes, but it's just the brads aren't in the middle of where the middle of the star, they're like on the side, so that's why they're being kind of goofy, but that's okay. It's perfectly imperfect, right? So now when I'll be able to like wrap like this when it's done. And I think I have enough string for that. So so on the back side, well, I have some of this tape. I'm just going to take a little bit of this tape and I'm going to make sure that this back side of the string is kind of glued down and taped down. That'll just protect it a little bit more from being pulled out. And it doesn't need to be that long. Okay. So while we're on the back side, I did have then some pieces to cover the tops here. So let's go ahead and glue these down. And again, just scrapbooking paper, scraps with, and then I sewed and inked the edges on these also. And again, you just want to make sure that when you glue these in, that you're above your fold line so that it'll easily fold closed. So that works still. And then this one right here, let's do the same thing for. The other option, you know, I use brads or whatever, but you could just do a tie, and you could just tie the two together and just tie them together with a little bow or something. I do that a lot of the time instead of using the brads, or I'll put eyelets in there and then just string through the eyelets and just tie them together. That looks nice too. Make sure I can close that. So last thing I'm going to do is just kind of look, because again I was just cutting paper and just tracing it just to see if there's any spots that don't look nice, and I'll just kind of trim those a little bit. I think I did pretty good though. And again, I just traced, you know, the flap to get it to be the right size. So that should work on that. Okay, and then let's see. So I'm going to put it this way if I'm putting it into a journal. So if it flips open, you'll see this part right here. So I did have a strip of paper left, so I was thinking that's how big my little flip thing is that I'm going to use to glue down my little hinge or whatever you want to call it. So again, I'm making sure that I just do this on the outside of where the fold is, and then I'm just going to cut that little bit of white off that's showing. So that part is almost done. I just need a journal card to put in there, or a tag. And so again, I have this one kind of prepped. Again, some scrapbooking paper that is sewed and inked the edges. Lorna Taylor's image. Isn't she precious? I just love these images in there. And, oh shoot, was I going to put anything behind her or not? I'm trying to remember if I wanted something. You see what this looks like. You know, there's some eyelash trim on there. I think I'm going to leave that. I thought about adding some lace or something. And later on, I might come back and add like a stamped image back here. I didn't have time to grab any more stamps other than that one that I already used, that I had purchased from Lorna before. So there's that. And I had this scrap of, I think I could get 4 of those on here. So let's do that. Guess I had this too, but that wouldn't fit on there. So then for this one, I was thinking, I had another remnant from an applique that I thought that might look kind of nice there, kind of like a winter garden maybe. And then that same applique, I had that little flower. So I was thinking that would be kind of cute. And then I printed off the word "Wish Upon a Star," and I just typed those up on my computer. I just type up a whole bunch of sentiments. But you guys could also, if you have like those Tim Holtz stickers, those would work too. Just find some sort of sentiment that you like, or a stamp or something. I think I want to put that up here. Wish Upon a Star. And I do have some more of those silver stars, which I'm going to add to this. I've just got to see where I put that. And let's see, what else was I going to do. I did also pull out, I have a whole bunch of this like metallic string. And I was thinking I might bunch some of that up underneath the sentiment up here. I probably cut off too much, but I'm just trying to use up, you know, random things in my stash. So just kind of something like that. So I just was thinking, you know, I might just put that underneath here when I glue that down. Just some random stuff. For this one, I think I'm just going to go ahead and use the hot glue just to make sure that that string kind of stays. Not quite exactly what I was envisioning, but it'll work. So you guys will have to let me know what you think of this little envelope idea. I've been thinking about. I've never done it before. I have that lace idea journal that I did, you know, earlier this year. I had all those episodes. I was thinking about doing like, you know, like a lot of the ladies do, the big idea journal ideas, just with different ideas in it. So I've been thinking about doing that next year, just so I can remember some of these, you know, like envelope ideas, in case I give away this journal and I can't go back in and, you know, look at those ideas in the future. I've been thinking about starting a journal like that for next year. So you guys will have to let me know if that would be a good idea too. And then also what you think about this envelope idea. I really like this one. I think how it's going to turn out. That's one I'm going to have to leave out until the glue dries. But again, if this was your journal page, you could put that down. This would be in there, so you would see it. And then you would tie this around the circles. I don't want to do that just because there's still glue seeping through this and I want that to dry. But I think that's kind of a cute idea. And then again, it flips, so then it can open up and then you have, you know, another, you know, could be a hidden spot to journal or whatever you wanted. So I'm going to set that aside. I wasn't quite done with her yet. So I have still some more of those silver stars. I really wanted to use up these little stars here that I have on the sticker sheet. Now, I don't know. I'm worried that if I use my hot glue that it's gonna be a little messy. So I'm going to grab my glossy accents, see if I can get it going here. Of course, it's not going to want to start. So I love glossy accents, but the tip always gets, you know, and I've tried leaving a pin in it, and the pin just dries in there, and so I'm just going to put a little bit of glue or the glossy accents in these spots that have these big stars. I'll hold it up when I'm done here. So I'm going to put the big star right here. And these stickers no longer stick like stickers, so they definitely have to be glued down. So, and then we'll stick this one right there. So that'll take a little while to dry, but now, okay, that's what I wanted to do with that one, so I'm sorry about that. And then I think I could also still go into with the Wink of Stella and just kind of highlight a few of these other little glitter spots that are in snow and twinkling stars that are in the background. Hard to say what they are. I mean, they kind of look like both stars and snow, just twinkling light. All right, now I'm done with it. Again, I don't know that those are going to show up too well on the camera, but it adds a little bit of extra to it, I think. All right, and now I have like 2 more things I want to do. I think one of them is going to be pretty fast. So the next thing I wanted to make was a paper clip, and again, I have parts of it already done here. So I do have one of those hidden paper clips, so I took a piece of scrapbooking paper and I inked the edges. I wanted the blue part showing. And so I'm going to put the paper clip in the middle of this. And again, if it was it's called hidden paper clip because I'm going to hide this. And when you put it on your journal page, and then if you have like your image over there, you won't see the paper clip, but you can still hook it onto your page. So that's how I'm going to start off with. And I also need, okay, and what I picked out for these ones, on one side I want to use her. I think she's precious too. I really like her. And then I also liked her. Both these girls I picked out because of their hats. Because I was thinking on the top of this, I'm going to have this part hanging out. So like when it's on your page, you kind of see that. And it looks like it's almost, you know, an extension on their hats. So that's why I chose those 2 lovely ladies to use. I guess they're not ladies, but young, you know, children. Why I chose to use them. Because I want to glue this on here too. I'm just going to try to cut this down. And I've used these embellishments before. They're like hairpins that I picked up at the thrift store. I picked up a grab bag of them. And I use them a lot when I make cards and I add flowers to things as an embellishment. And it's really tough wire to cut. I mean, my wire cutter here is having a heck of a time, but eventually I get it. I just wanted to show you guys that it was a hairpin that I'm using. And I just didn't want it too bulky. That's why I want to cut it down. I could have just left it too. This would have been really cool if there would have been like some sort of like stars added in with it. It really would have looked like an extension from their hats. And I guess before I do anything more, I am going to just take that Wink of Stella and just color both of their stars, that are some of their stars and different things that are in their hats here, just to add a little sparkle. And then she had some stars on her face, so I'm just gonna highlight those a little bit. So cute. Okay. All right, so, and then I also picked out some more of that Swiss dot material, and then I had this scrap one. So I'm just going to layer that underneath each of these girls. So I wanted that ready before I glued stuff down. So I'm going to just put a little glue up here. Just going to get that kind of put in here, and I'm going to try to put it as close to the top of the page as I can. I need another glue stick. That's what I was looking for. I'm just going to put a little bit of glue around the paper clip so it stays. And I can always trim off these sides a little bit if I have to on this. If I don't like that, I just wanted to get this down. You could put another piece of paper over it, but I'm going to put her right there like that, I think. So I have some of this little, I don't know, trim that I got somewhere, but I'm thinking that that might look kind of nice. Yeah, I need to use some of that on this. I'll probably do it on both sides, so I might as well just cut two. I got this in some Happy Mail, so, or a swap from somebody, and of course I cut a little too much. Okay, but I'll save these little pieces for snippets to use in the journal. I just think it looks like frozen snow on something, frozen web or something. So that looks, I think, really cute there. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to use hot glue just to make sure that this stays. Ooh, I like that. Okay, and then I had some of this trim left over from the other day. And to me, it just reminds me of snowflakes. So I'm going to go ahead and add some of that, I think, to... Do I want it on the top or the bottom? I think I want it on the bottom. And I only want two, so I'm going to cut it down. Alright, well, that is not going to make me a happy camper, so I know it might not show unless I hold it close, but there's kind of a glue smudge there, and I don't like it. So let's just try and glue down one of these little bigger stars right there just to hide it a little bit. There's always ways to fix mistakes. There. That'll work. I still like it, so. Still looks like that's kind of an extension from our hat, doesn't it? Isn't that cute? So there's that side, and then let's decorate this side real quick. Pretty much, I think, just exact same thing. The only thing I think, now that I look at this a little bit, I want to shabby this up, so I'm just going to kind of cut kind of goofy, I guess, just to make it look not so perfectly cut. It just doesn't quite look right. There. Yeah, I like that better. Okay. All right, so for this one then, let's go ahead and put a little glue here. Lay down that. And again, I think I need to just cut in on a few spots of this material just to make it, or lace, just to make it not look so perfect. I just wanted the edges to look a little shabbier. So that works on that one. And I really like this underneath it, so we're going to do the same thing on this one also. And then I had some of this leftovers from the other day when I was working on the other kit from Lorna Taylor's, the Snow Angels or whatever, that one. And this is just some, like an applique or something that was sewed onto a prom dress that I took apart, and it just again reminds me of a frozen winter. So I think I want to add just a little bit of that just to add a little bit of something. So yeah, now the only thing I was thinking about doing too is I could, because I have the little star confetti, is I could glue some of that down on that. Is kind of cute, especially on her. I might have to go back and all right, glossy accent. So I'm going to do that on her and the other side, but I'll have to I'll have to do it on her and then let this side dry, but I'll just show you guys what she looks like. And what she looks like. And again, that's a hidden paper clip. Isn't that cute? the glossy accents takes a little bit to dry. These are the same little shaker, the little confetti stars that I used in that shaker that I showed, that we worked on earlier in the video. There's a little bit of iridescence to them. So that's kind of cute. So now that's what she looks like. And again, I'm going to do the same thing for her, but I don't want this to smear, so I'll do that off camera when I'm done recording. So again, that's what she looked like, and that's what she looked like. And I'll try and take a picture of what she looks like with the little stars at the end too, that I'll pop on. So now I have kind of one last one that I had planned on doing today. So hopefully this, well, I already know the video is long, but I'll try and take out parts of it. But again, I'm starting off with a clothing tag that I put scrapbooking paper on the one side, another piece of scrapbooking paper that I inked the edges for. And so I'm just going to glue this one down then. Hopefully this stays. I'll have to check it out later because it's kind of a shiny, this side of the tag is shinier than what the back side was. And then this one also had a hole out in the top, so let's, I think everything's lined up. So we'll punch that out. And let's see, maybe I can find a blue ribbon or something to put on that one. There, that works. So again, another one of Lorna Taylor images. I just love her too. I mean, obviously I loved all the images I chose. And I think before I get going, I might as well just go ahead and do the Wink of Stella again. I just think it adds a little bit to it. You don't have to, you know, go over every single little snow amount on here that's highlighted, but just, like I said, when you move her, you should be able to see that there's, you know, like it's snowing a little bit. There's a little bit of glitter that, very subtle but pretty. And then I had some more of that glitter tulle that I'm thinking I'm going to put some of this down. I need to cut this down though. It's way too big. So yeah, I think after I'm done recording, when I'm cleaning up my desk, I'm going to take, you know, some of these scraps and try to make little clusters and set them aside for the journal when I get going on it. I'm probably going to put this stuff away for a while because this was something I was going to do in January. I was going to work on a Winter Wonderland journal, and when Lorna gifted me this kit, I kind of wanted to play with it, and it kind of helped me also remember what I've been saving up stuff for this journal for a while, so it kind of helped me remember what I had in my stash there for the journal too. So I think I have more than enough supplies to play with for it, so I don't need to buy anything more for this journal. But these are going to be fun little ephemera pieces to add. So this one, there really isn't, because the tag was so small, there's not really much I can do with it. So I'm just going to stick a little glue right there down just so then the tulle stays. And then we'll add her. So pretty. Ooh, I wonder on her, I just was looking, you know, she has buttons on there. I wonder what it would look like if we added some of these buttons, these little confetti pieces as the buttons. I think I'm going to do that. That's kind of cute. So we'll do that after we're done. So I did have a die cut here of some stars that I did. And I was thinking that it might be kind of pretty just going down the side here. I'm not going to use the whole thing. I think let's cut it off there. I think that works. So I can use this again, this other piece on something else. Can't remember where that die cut came from, what brand it was. If it was, it might have been a Memory Box one. Put a little bit of glue. I like using this glue. It's fine line adhesive tech. Like if I'm doing like really fine detailed work that I need glue on, this one seems to work pretty good for that. So, and it does dry clear, so if it does seep over, it does dry clear. But I usually just save it for detailed die cuts is usually what I use that glue for. It doesn't take too long to adhere, but I kind of like that. That's kind of cute. And then I had a little bit of this trim that I thought I could add. I think I just want to put it just right down here. So there, that's cute. Trying to decide. Yeah, so I had those two that I could put the stars there, but then I remembered I also dug these out again. My mom's neighbor, Joanne, from somebody else that she knew that was getting rid of craft supplies. She always thinks of me. And Joanne usually has something for me every now and again. So, but this came from another lady, I think, who was getting rid of her stash. But they're kind of some older crystals. They're not quite as bright, I guess, or shiny as some, because they're, I don't really know how old they are, so I don't know if you really want to call them vintage, but oh, I kind of like that. Don't you guys? That looks cute. I mean, if they're more straight, they're not glued on yet. And then I'm trying to decide too on her hat she has, or if that's a little too much. I just got to look at it before I start gluing down. She does have like some little snowflakes or stars up there. I don't know. I kind of like that, so I think I'm going to do that. Wonder if I have a tweezers here that I can use to pick those up, so I have a little bit more. I can be a little more accurate when I glue them down. I think there's like 1, 2, 3, 4. There's like 4 or 5 on here, but I'm just going to put the 3. There's, look at the image of the little snowflakes or whatever. Ooh, I like that. That is cute. Another cute image, Lorna. That's what she turned out to look like. Thank you again, everybody, so much for watching today. Again, I was working with Lorna Taylor's kit, Skate Among the Stars. It's so gorgeous. And here's all the different things that I accomplished. I'm really happy with how everything turned out. Again, this was a little glassine bag. A pretty little tag. And then also this one. I wonder if this tag might not fit in here. I might be able to fit this one into that one. But here is the other pretty little tag that we did. And then if you missed it, I did post one a few days ago, I think, on using one of her other kits that with the snow angels. That one was gorgeous. So I'll also link that one below in the description box. This one was really fun with the shaker. using the tool. And now you can really see on camera, even I think the tool that had the confetti, you know, iridescent color. So that's just really shining on the camera, and then the iridescent confetti pieces. And that, isn't that cute? And then of course I did the little stamped, rubber stamped image that I purchased from Lorna. I don't know if it was last year or the year before. Then here was that hidden paper clip, and I did manage to glue. It's still drying here, but the other side was dry enough that I could glue those. So I wanted to show you what it looked like with the little stars in her hair, or not her hair, but her hat. And then of course I love how the pearls look. That's gonna look fun on the top side of a journal. Just seeing that hidden. And then of course this little girl with the snowflake trim at the bottom, and then adding the stars also to her hat. And then you can see, I just love how those turned out. And I think the only thing I have left to show you guys is this one. And I did off camera before I just started filming this, just kind of the last peek at everything and to say goodbye to you guys. I did end up gluing a little bit of trim on this one on the inside. Again, this was the little flip, and as you can see I have little glitter stars now all over my desk. So they're going to start attaching to everything. But here's what it looks like tied, and I wanted to show you guys that since it was dried enough to do that. And so you just open it up, and again, here's the little journal card that we created. And then here's where I added the little trim on the side. I just thought it needed a little something there. And again, if it's in your journal, you can flip it this way and there'll be a spot to journal back here. And then of course on the page, you can do something here too if you wanted. So I do love how that turned out. Again, like I said, I had this in my head for doing something with an envelope like this, and so I'm glad it turned out. You guys will have to let me know what you think. But thank you again so much, everybody, for watching. And until next time, I hope you guys all have a wonderful day and happy crafting. And of course, a big thank you to Lorna for sharing some of your digitals with me. I'm having a lot of fun playing with them. So thank you again for that. And hopefully we'll see you guys all back soon. Bye-bye.